Namaste, brother. Nama Buddhaya. What is this? What are you doing? It's my Buddhist outfit, dude. Because we're doing an episode on Buddha. A white kid from the suburbs is dressing up and talking about Buddha. Great idea, dude. That's never gone wrong before. Okay, dude. I eat Indian food like twice a week, bro. Jesus Christ, man. Hey, relax, man. Your chakras seem a little misaligned right now, bro. They're perfectly aligned. I just have a feeling that this is... Okay, roll the music. Buddha was born sometime around 500 BC into a very wealthy family. He lived a sheltered childhood, and his father tried to distract him from all the bad parts of life with luxury and material possessions. Even though he had all the stuff that one could possibly want, there was a growing sense of dissatisfaction within him, and he began pondering how he could have a life so full of material pleasure, yet so empty of true satisfaction. So he set out to leave his palace, hoping to find something he didn't already have that would make him happy. But on the day he left, for the first time in his life, he witnessed the harsh reality that pain and suffering are an inescapable part of this world. After seeing the impoverished and sick on the outskirts of his kingdom, the realization that suffering is inherent to this world led Buddha to reject his materialistic upbringing, and he set out on a quest to attain spiritual enlightenment so he could figure out how to put an end to suffering. The story goes that in the beginning of his journey, he met an ascetic monk in the woods. Ascetics were people who practice abstaining from material pleasures like drugs, sex, and overindulging in food. And this monk's lifestyle presented a sharp contrast to the way Buddha was raised. He observed that this monk looked peaceful and satisfied, even though he owned no possessions and had little food. And this gave Buddha an idea. If pursuing material pleasure doesn't work, then maybe avoiding material pleasure was a true path to enlightenment. And so he took a vow of asceticism and continued his journey. So for the next 6 years, he wandered his region, visiting villages to talk to people and learn all he could from other monks. But eventually, this feeling of dissatisfaction again found its way into Buddha's life. So one day, he sat down under a tree and meditated deeply on this problem of suffering until he was struck by a sudden realization. Life is suffering. The root of suffering is the attachment to our desires and expectations, and the end of suffering can be attained by letting go of our attachments. What the hell does that mean? Attachments? Suffering? What is he talking about? Okay, well actually he said life is dukkha, and in Buddhism the path to end suffering is known as the Eightfold Path. There's too much to talk about to fit in this video, but basically Buddha rejected hedonism because he realized that clinging to your desire for more pleasure would result in never being satisfied enough, which ultimately would lead to suffering. He also rejected strict asceticism because clinging to your desire to avoid pleasure would result in the same outcome. The path between the two extremes is what Buddha called the middle way. Buddha understood that you can't extinguish desire. You can't just get rid of it. Desire is the human condition. Oftentimes, desire is what pushes us to form relationships, pursue new hobbies, and explore different ideas. And those desires can lead us to positive outcomes. So our desires aren't what's causing our suffering, it's clinging to our desires, or clinging to a specific desired outcome that causes suffering. Yeah, I still don't really get it. Like, how do you stop clinging to your desires? Okay, well, to give an analogy, think of your mind like a hand. If you have a desire and you hold on to one specific possible outcome of that desire, it's like you're holding on to that expectation so tightly that you're unable to fit anything else in your mind's hand. Buddha suggests letting go of all your ideas because you might need room in your mind's hand to pick something else up in the future. But letting go doesn't mean you're actively swatting away ideas and expectations. If they end up in your hand, so be it. But if they drift away, just let them go. Okay, but what if you do cling to an idea or an expectation for a specific outcome, and then it happens and you become happy? Well, I definitely don't think a Buddhist would tell you that that was a bad thing, or that you would have been better off not taking the actions that led to your happiness. But I would argue that you can still achieve every goal you want to achieve in life without this additional layer of merging your self-identity with the outcome, or attaching your very worth as a human being to the outcome of the goal. Okay, well, what exactly is the self? And what's the mechanism by which it can be attached to other things? You know, I haven't really thought about that much. We'll save that for another video. This shit's mad confusing, bro.